the new video that surfaced. What was your reaction when you saw that video of Rayshard Brooks sharing his experience with law enforcement?
That was something that a lot of people didn't know, is that Rayshard had become a spokesperson for people that have been in the criminal justice system. So he volunteered for that video out of his own, wasn't paid, didn't help him with his time, anything like that. He volunteered to go and talk about the struggles that people go through after they've been released from jail. And if you watch the full video, it's like an hour long. He talks about how people should never give up on trying to find a job. Even though you may have a criminal record, you got to take whatever job you can get because you got to provide for your family. And he talked about how, mentors need to be assigned to people that have been released from jail to, guide them and give them hope. Mm-hmm. It's deep. Like when I watched it, I was just sitting there like, what kind, like, why would he volunteer to do this unless he's genuinely a good dude trying to help other people that have been through that?
Mm-hmm. And it really humanizes the case now even further. I mean, the family has been speaking, saying he turned his life around. He was working really hard to take care of his wife and his children. But seeing that video takes the human element to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean, you get to see him, because in all of my other cases, you just see a dead body on the ground. You don't really get to hear from them, but since he was younger, there's more video, and you get to see who he was and not just a hashtag.
Mm-hmm. And with the district attorney's announcement yesterday, for the audience, for some of them who may not be tuned in with the full details, let's run through some of the updates that District Attorney Paul Howard gave yesterday, and some clarification to some of the social media confusion that was out there as well.
Look, man, I think they did what they're supposed to do, what district attorneys are supposed to do. Look at the evidence, and try and find if there's charges. I mean, people are trying to say, oh, it's political, but I've been in situations, I've had cases where a Black person was killed and the district attorney didn't press charges because of political reasons. They thought that they would lose votes if they went after this cop, or they were scared of the union. So don't give me that political stuff. They did their job. And, they did their job. Let the criminal justice system play out. Just like if it was a Black person that murdered somebody, nobody would be raising hell about him being prosecuted.
So there are 11 charges that the officer who pulled the trigger is facing. Warrants have been issued for both officers. When do they turn themselves in? Have they already, is the deadline today?
Yeah, I think it's today. Mm-hmm. I don't even know. I don't care, as long as they just turn themselves in.
And the second officer, he's agreeing to cooperate with police in the case?
From the statement, well, from the interview I saw with his lawyers, is he said he is cooperating with the DA, though there's a dispute on whether he's going to be a quote unquote government witness or not. But all I saw was he's cooperating with the DA. That's all we care about.
How many cell phone videos did Paul Howard say that they reviewed to come to this conclusion? He showed a list of different cell phone videos, witnesses from different states. Kind of give us an update on that as well.
He had a bunch of stuff. I mean, we didn't even know that Officer Rofe kicked him while he was laying down dying. The DA's office doesn't ever tell us what they're really up to. So we found out when everybody else found out. But there was a lot of stuff we didn't know. The kicking, the standing on him, the fact that he was shot, not when he pointed the taser at the officer, but when he kept running. We didn't know all that stuff. So his wife actually had to leave the courtroom when they showed the pictures of Rayshard getting kicked.
Like you said, you had no idea walking into that room exactly all the things that were going to surface. Do you think people would have eyewitnesses if there were never cell phone videos recorded of the incident?
No, that's the way that African Americans typically get justice in a police involved shooting, is cell phone video. because if we don't have cell phone videos, he said, she said, and no one ever believes the victim's family, and the victim is dead, so he can't talk.
And this case is getting national, international attention. When it first, we were all looking at getting grab attention, become viral. Did you ever think we would be here today, especially right after you covered the George Floyd? You were in Minneapolis. Before then, you were in Brunswick. So this is a situation of like, bam, bam, bam. The country hasn't had any rest.
Yeah, the country and me. That's why I got these bags under my eyes and I'm drinking coffee. But it's all good. I mean, I haven't seen this many cases back to back to back like this. I mean, we just had left George Floyd's funeral where we represent his daughter and landed, and then this immediately happened right after that. And so, you know, like I said before, I think 2020 with the damn plague that happened and everything, and now all this, you know, God's trying to send a message to like just wake people up about what's going on, because most people can't go back to work. People are living on social media, and you know, he's trying to wake people up while they're listening before we all get back to work and back to the clubs and back to balling and this and that and move on.
People are asking, what can we do as communities to move forward? I know there is a lot of talk about police reform, legislations, and different things like that, but what do you believe needs to happen so that we don't see another case like this or like this again?
Man, what everybody's doing now, like people, you know, and some lawyers, like, it's not us who deserves the credit for it. It's actually the people who are marching, who are contacting their, you know, mayor or congressman or senator. It's like the people that actually make stuff move. We're just on TV talking and arguing. But change happens when politicians turn on their TV and they see 5,000 people marching for a dead black guy. And then they're like, wait, what? Like, you know, why do people care? White people care? You know, black, like, so it's disturbing to the system when all the people start unifying. So just keep doing what people are doing, talking about the case, not letting it die down, not getting caught up in the next funny viral video and we lose sight of this case, because right now is the time for stuff to change. And if we don't take advantage of it, we're going to be right back here. I mean, I thought that things were going to change 6 years ago when I had Walter Scott. And now when I bring up Walter Scott, people are like, wait, what case is that? Oh, that was when a dude got shot running from the cops. Like, you know, so that's just how it is, man. So we just stay in the trenches.
Mm-hmm. And there were reports last night in Atlanta of some officers who were not reporting to their shifts. Obviously, there was a lot of different speculation that was happening, but to your knowledge, what was going on last night? Did you kind of look into that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was going on. My boys that are police officers were at work, still protecting the community. You know, because I fight for civil rights, but I have friends that are cops, like good dudes. They were still out there fighting and protecting the community. And, you know, they're hurt, you know, that they're getting blamed and caught up in this, but they were still doing their job. I mean, if people want to walk off or, you know, leave their job because a dude was shot running away and then kicked, then all right, walk off. But the good officers that actually care about policing the inner city and care about the community, you know, they're going to keep doing their job. There
were some people that were saying that Paul Howard should have waited for the process to play out with an indictment first and everything. With the process, how it's happening now, you know, warrants served, they're turning themselves in, and it's happening so quickly. Is this how it should be done moving forward?
It's how it should be done. I don't even understand that argument. Let's say the district attorney had taken a year to decide what he was going to do. I mean, would it still be political? You know, then it would be the opposite. Oh, he's delaying the case. And, you know, so, I mean, they had all the evidence. They had videos. They have multiple witnesses. They know the case law, which they started talking about. Why do African Americans have to wait for justice? Like, every case isn't going to be George Floyd where it's clear cut. And we even still had to wait, and the whole world had to march to get them arrested. I mean, Ahmaud Arbery, we waited months to get those guys arrested and had to raise hell to get those guys arrested. Why do we have to wait so long to get somebody arrested when it's on video? Like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. We just got to get back to a place, man, of community actual policing. You know what I mean? Like, where the officers that are in the inner city understand who they're policing, so that when they see a young black kid or a group of young black kids, like, they're not suspects immediately. That's just, you know, Mike and them from the gym, you know, but that's gone because a lot of officers that police in the inner cities don't even live there. They live in different places and they come to work in Atlanta or different cities. So, you know, that's been something I've been pushing is, you know, you gotta live where you police, because it's harder to pull a trigger on something that you're familiar with. You know what I mean? You can't kill a black body when you interact and live with them. So we just got to get back to that, because policing isn't going anywhere. No matter what people are saying, you know, it's just more it has to be fixed. And there have to be elements added where armed officers aren't responding to loitering calls or, you know, a drunk, you know, dude sitting somewhere, because then that's where it escalates. Like, there needs to be another division that handles all that kind of stuff.
A question I asked you last time we did an IG Live was the trend of always digging up the past victims, right? That's a trend we always see. We saw it in the Ahmaud Arbery case, where there were attempts to dig up his past. There was attempts in the George Floyd case, and now. Why is this always a trend? You answered it last time. You can answer for the audience the trend of always trying to look up into someone's past, even though that may never have anything to do with the unfortunate situation that happened to them.
Because that's how the world works, man. Like, you find me an angel and I'll show you a devil. You know what I mean? It's you can find, there's no perfect human being on the planet Earth, no matter how great people want to make their IG lives look. And, you know, so of course, you know, when somebody gets shot by the police, they have to try and dehumanize them and make y'all not like them. And the easiest way that they do that is to try and talk about a criminal record or arrests or this or that. I mean, what person in this country doesn't have a family member that hasn't been to jail? Like, or hasn't been to jail, period. You know, so that doesn't work. It's just a character assassination attempt, but it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I mean, they don't talk about the officer's background. We discovered, what a Guardian discovered in 2015, that Officer Rolfe was involved in another shooting where he shot a African-American male and hid the fact that he shot him in a report. But the only thing that's listed on his disciplinary record is a gun, you know, misuse charge, but it doesn't go into details. So don't give me that. You know, you got to make people look bad.
And the image of the officer kicking Mr. Brooks after he was on the ground, what does that say about the possible intentions of the officer?
I mean, it showed his mental state. You know, if he was, as they're trying to say, fearing for his life and he shot because he thought he was going to die, you don't run up and kick somebody, you know, stump him after he's on the ground dying. He was pissed off. He was angry, and it showed his mental state. So, you know, I mean, they had just lost the fight, and they were angry. You know, it's going to be a long ride. Look at our case in Minneapolis with George Floyd. You know, that's still going, and nothing else is really happening right now. Think about Alton Sterling. You know, that shooting that happened in Baton Rouge. I've been litigating that case in court for 4 years, and we're still in court. So it's just a long ride in these cases.
I remember when you were coming back from Minneapolis, you were like, yep, going to the dentist, taking some time off, take care of myself. And then this happened. obviously
Yeah.
expects to see these footages, but you actually thought you were going to get maybe a few weeks break for family and things like that.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get a break. And so I went ahead and had oral surgery done. And then the shooting happened that night. And the doctor was like, you can't talk for 4 days or you're going to pop all the stitches. And then I ended up having to take this case and popped all the stitches because I have to keep talking about the case. Never chew ice, people. Don't chew ice. You'll crack a molar. But it's all good. I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you're going to do this, you can't control when stuff happens. And if you wait or try and think about yourself, then you start losing yourself and trying to become some image that you're not. Like, I don't want to do these cases, but somebody's got to, and you got to do it not thinking about yourself.
Tell us about your team. You know, it takes a team for you to do what you do. Can you kind of, let's give a little time for you to talk about your Stewart trial team who helps you always work these cases year round?
Yeah, I mean, that's why you got to have a squad. Like, you know, my law partner, Justin Miller, is carrying half this weight. My paralegals, you know, my bosses, actually, all the ladies at my law firm really run things. We're just the figureheads. And they're the people who get it done. You know what I mean? Like right now, 2 of my paralegals are with Tamika right now, taking care of her, making sure the kids have clothes, helping organize the funeral. Like, it's really like a team effort, which is why, you know, I was so adamant about trying to create a large African-American owned law firm, is because you got to be able to understand what people are going through. Things are going to work out. You know what I mean? Like, we've never seen change like this happening. But it's only going to happen while we stay interested. And I did see somebody, which they reminded me, support this family. You know, we're managing the Rayshard Brooks GoFundMe for the wife and the kids. And to explain that how that works is, people think like GoFundMes are just so somebody can get rich or whatever. That's not how it works. I mean, this family is, which a lot of these victims are, extreme poverty, like extreme. And I'm not going to go extreme. And so we, as the law firm of the Lord, we can't give them money. We can't like take care of them. So that's why the community, and you'll see Tyler Perry, who's taking care of the funeral, and Diddy's trying to do something. And like, that's why, you know, and even Pinky, like people, that's why, like, it matters. It's because they have nothing. You know what I mean? And now the only breadwinner is gone, and this mother's now left with 4 kids. So that's why that matters. And people think, oh, they're just trying to get rich, or they're going to get rich from the civil lawsuit. These cases don't pay. It's very rare where we actually can win one or get a settlement. And thank God, you know, I've won, you know, some good ones, but it doesn't happen often. Because even though they arrest a cop, that don't mean that they're going to actually take care of the family. So, you know, if people have it, or if they can spread the word about that, like, look out for them. I mean, she don't even have a car.
Can you post the link, the GoFundMe link on your Instagram page so that the people in the next 5 minutes can go there and start clicking on it?
Yeah, I'll do that.